Erica Lorraine Spencer here, and this is the P.O.C, ongoing documentation of the people of the state of California. That is the vicarious actor, the vicarious aspect of the public entity. That is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. The state of California is operating a targeting system, and that targeting system is for purposes of what is criminal monitoring with communication devices. And this is the reason why the public entity, the state of California, is stalking, and it is engaged in group stalking as a group. The state engages in group stalking directly by planes, helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance, and the state engages in group stalking vicariously, and that is by the people of the state of California who are in any private or, in any private vehicle, private residence, or any public or commercial location or company vehicle, for example, at any place of business which is identified as a facilitating venue of a third party representing the people of the state, as defined under what shall be federal policy with regard to the prosecution of a public entity that is systematically monitoring anywhere that the target individual goes, whether it be a place of a business, the very private residence of the target individual, as you are literally walking outside as you are in traffic at any place and at all times, systematic monitoring. And so this is speaking to the people of the state in all of the methods engaged in to maintain what is group presence, and it is presence that is facilitating the public entity's ability to monitor with communication devices, irrespective of the identity or the method employed by the people of the state in order to monitor with communication devices while all other elements remain present. And this is that which I have documented, and that is P.O.C. This is AMR ambulance, vehicle number 29157, Omnitrans, license 1404990, and license plate 8W23699, 71072V2, 67742W1. License 8DTE622, 5ZHH944, 8DCH897, 4L1T638, A58NSE4, 8DFZ495, 65113M2, 8ENC296, 5XCM052, 8MBV979, 7XJJ796, 8APH957, 2002202, or let me see, trying to read my handwriting again. This is 20022. I'm going to say 02 or substantially similar. All right, license 7HHG422, license 8CJM225, 7TLZ297, 7VFA965, 7JVH433, 5XCX544, 8764 4J2. Third party facilitating venue, which is also where I was documenting these group stalkers at this venue. And this venue engaged in monitoring me, systematically acting with the state that was engaged in the same exact P.O.C. This is a Super Clean Laundry located in Ontario, located at 1008 North Mountain Avenue, Ontario, California, zip code 91762. And the exact same pattern of conduct underway, the state patrolling over this venue in planes and in helicopter, which is amplified audible activity while I'm inside of this venue, which is armed with surveillance cameras, while the people of the state of California surround in relevant position inside of this laundromat, engaging in what is a group stalking, meaning as I make any move, as I engage in any activity, filling up the laundry, filling up my washing machine, removing, digging in a bag, everything that you're doing related to your laundry, the people of the state of California engaging in this behavioral pattern of maintaining presence in the path while I'm inside of this venue, and they are doing so with simultaneity based on mirroring, following my physical activity as I was doing my laundry at this venue, and the state sounding its sirens, creating audible activity, the state sounding helicopter activity, the state patrolling via aircraft, and the state's fake sun, as I've already established, maintaining presence. And again, these are third parties that were documented on February 16, 2020. As of 11:56 a.m., I even documented here in writing, and this is at Super Clean Laundry. And let's see, I have Ontario Police, vehicle number 1006. Ontario Police, vehicle number 1813. Ontario Police, vehicle number 1808. Let's see, and this is on a different date. This is on February 1st, 2020. I am merely publishing on my podcast the people of the state and the state, as I also document, meaning acting directly, that's via ambulance, fire trucks, the police engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. Just speaking to the fact that this is ongoing documentation that I gathered, and so I am reciting the license plates as I have been engaged in systematic documentation. Chino Police, vehicle number 559, license plate 1514587. I will go into details as to this. This is documentation of the police. This is Chino Police engaging in P.O.C. And I want to note in particular what this officer, Officer Jaquez, spelled Jacquez, appeared to be a Latino male inside of what was payday advance. While I am seated inside of the car of third parties who were engaging in driving around throughout the city, Ontario, Chino. These cities are very close to each other, so I'm currently in the city of Chino, where what are Chino police vehicles in this parking lot, and this is what I observe after the fact, after I go and note the Chino police officer that goes inside of payday advance, which is merely crossing path going inside of this venue. And I want to be clear, as the officer crosses path walking on the sidewalk to enter inside of the payday advance, this officer had an Ontario Police Department badge on his arm. I want to be clear, I specifically observed that. As I go inside and I observe him personally after going to what was the parking lot, because I wanted to get the license plate of the vehicle. I note that it is a Chino police vehicle, first of all, and I write down this license plate. I then go in based on that observation of an Ontario police badge on his arm, and I'll be specific, as he is walking past the vehicle. I'm sitting in the back seat of a third party's vehicle, and he is walking, and his arm that was facing my direction where I saw the badge was on his right arm. And it specifically said Ontario Police. So I go to the vehicle and I note that it's a Chino police vehicle. And I note that license plate and the vehicle number. I then go inside of Payday Advance, where the Ontario police badge is not seen on his arm anymore. And be clear, the word Ontario and the word Chino are in no way similar. They are in no way spelled alike. They are in no way mistakable. So that's not something that I saw and it looks like it's similar to Chino. It is no way similar whatsoever. This officer had an Ontario police badge on his right arm, which I see as he is walking inside of the payday advance, which understand is relevant positioning, going inside of the same venue where the third parties whose vehicle they were driving me around in go inside of the payday advance. Okay, so I go inside after I note the Chino license plate. I note the officer's name. I specifically go in and I ask him, and I also note what is a Chino police badge and no longer appearing as Ontario police. This is at 9:35 a.m. This is. Well, let's see. 9:35 a.m. on February 1st, 2020, just to be clear on that note. Okay, going on with my documentation. License plate 8PBU905. License 5UZT157. License plate Rancho Cucamonga Police, license 1524647. License plate 7KCS293. AMR Ambulance, license plate 7586351, vehicle number 13233. License plate 5GRT219, license 7MRU774, license 04038M2. License 5RBN464. License 8KDF042. License 1C53471. FA1140. License 8CHE041. License 66329W2 24230K1 5AJV474. AN85G37. This is a paper license plate. 95544U1. Eight A41254. 6H37648. 5X26368. 7DEK573. 7L43362, 3VMP360. And it looks like I noted that this vehicle was carrying a wagon attached to the vehicle. The license on that wagon was 4AS6838. License 8BJE186. License 7NJU486. 3VUD746. 8HNT525. C4535A. Make sure that this is, yeah, substantially similar. I'm going to stick with 7C4535A. Substantially similar to that. License 2725033. 4WEE887. 8HOY821. 6FJK402. 690RZ1. Or, excuse me, hold on. 690. Yeah. Oh, okay, no, I think I'm missing a character. I'm going to scratch that. That is a slash. Substantially similar to 690RZ. Yeah, it's going to be substantially similar to that. Okay, license 7BEX624. License 6APU886. 9452351. License 96516U1. License 8Z77887. License 5W85937. License 53613A2. License 3PH L286. VEV226. Okay, this looks like 4CYN634. 85758S2. 7WON118. 8DMJ018. 8CSR. Oh, excuse me, 8CSK434. 7NYF576. 8DLP881. 7SJK928. All right, again, that is, I'm sorry, correction, 1SJK928. see, I have the license 91657U1, 95198H2, 8AMA341, 5578 1P2, 5W85937, 4PWL174, USPS, United States Postal Service, with no license plate. The number on this USPS vehicle is 6424081. All right, license plate 8M0G921, license 8PBD879, license 7L89456. I believe this is vehicle number 0217995. This is another USPS, United States Postal Service vehicle. Again, with no license is what I'm noting, front or back. And the vehicle number I've got 0217995. Okay. License M444110. License substantially similar to, let's see, (62K2899). That's what that says. License 62K2899. This other one is too illegible. Just sketch that one. License 51490H2. License plate 7ZYA617. License 7JBA966. 7PPX219. 6MY4397. 6ZCK595. 7POV746. 6MTW617. 4ZEF457. 6SWH. Oh, I'm sorry, forgive me. 6SWW719. 7G1F660. ZYUA173. 7R1F175. 4RPD224. 7NLN300. 74FX376. 8GZY068. 6EWC171. 7WYN425. 8ASH 593, 5ZUF, it's like 018. That's what I believe that says. I believe that's 5ZUF018, okay? License 2XYP924. 6TCU020. 5Y0W401. RUELASP. 7LEK198. 385ZN. That's a handicap plate. 8DLC503. 6CCA837. 5AVW138. 6XZL445. 7JBD688. 7EIS727. 6ZKK240. 3KNY422. 4SLC078. 7DNJ771. 7KLP149. 6BAZ908. This is AMR ambulance vehicle number 05118. 1057357. All right, what I also want to include in my documentation, as I remain subject to the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, as I am subject to what is within that pattern of conduct, the criminal obstruction of justice, and this is the court, the police, and the jails. Specifically acting via Ontario Police, specifically acting via Rancho Cucamonga Courthouse, specifically acting via the jails, including Central Detention Center, including Glen Helen Rehabilitation Center and West Valley Detention Center, all of which I have remained kidnapped while subject to what are fictitious prosecutions, and also during what was a malicious prosecution, which I will expound upon that criminal act at another time. Right now, I want to focus on what is the state engaging in P.O.C. as I was subject to being placed on what is probation and a fictitious prosecution by the criminal of the name Kimberly Appaloo, who on January 28th, engaging in what is the fictitious prosecution, and this criminal placed me on probation in a fictitious prosecution, and the probation office engaging in the P.O.C. All right. And I want to document as I experience them, as I'm subject to this ongoing harassment, this ongoing threat by the entity that is monitoring and engaging in all manner of literally criminal conduct through the court system, through the jail system, through the criminal justice system. The probation department, and I have specific actors. And again, these are just actors that are providing a template of what the entity is engaged in. But I do have the names of the specific actors engaged in monitoring me. All right, everything they're doing in relevant position, while they are also engaging in what is the communication of a threat, telling me that I am on probation, contrary to what the criminals in that courtroom, that is Vanessa Rodriguez, acting on behalf of what is Laura Alvarez, both of whom are officers of the court, engaging in the fictitious prosecution and their capacity as what are public defenders, fully engaged in the state's criminal system, and Kimberly Appaloo specifically on this date, placing me on probation. And under the not only is Vanessa Rodriguez engaged in the state's pattern of conduct, she is also engaged in what is, textbook P.O.C. as I have explained it in SIIS federal legislation, that which is designed to address the criminal tactics of the entity. And in the capacity as public defender, where Vanessa Rodriguez is fully engaged in what is federal group stalking and monitoring, she is engaged in a fictitious prosecution, and she is doing so in the capacity of what is a public defender. All right. In no way representing my interests. And at this particular court hearing, I am falsely advised that I am not placed on probation, and under that false advice given, okay, in the midst of what is a fictitious prosecution, she is also giving me advice which is untrue, stating that while I am agreeing to the terms of what is probationary terms, she's stating I am not under probation. This is that which she spoke to me, and this is also relevant. This is essential to my stating in court while I'm subject to this criminal act by the court system. By the way, nothing that the target individual agrees to. All right, I'm putting agreement and agrees to in air quotes because all of it is pursuant to the criminal conduct of the public entity. You are not agreeing to anything. You're subject to their criminal conduct, period. And this is also that which is occurring under duress. That's an ongoing threat. It's an ongoing criminal act that they're engaged in. Nonetheless, I want to be clear, pursuant to the false quote unquote legal advice of Vanessa Rodriguez stating that I am not on probation, contrary to the terms of what is a probation agreement in this court of Kimberly Appaloo, who is taking the representations of Vanessa Rodriguez as she is communicating to me that all I need to do is provide a phone number, which I provided the third-party group stalker's phone number of Tracy Banks, who was also engaging in P.O.C. She's present in relevant position, monitoring me in the courthouse and in the capacity of maintaining some supportive role. I want to be clear, Eric Corey Spencer, also a third-party group stalker whose name I know and whose license plate I also know as well. His license plate is JABO. And I want to be clear, they're also monitoring me while I am subject to kidnapping. This is a fictitious prosecution, the grounds upon which they are keeping my person in the jail while I am subject to ongoing monitoring, and I'm subject to monitoring in this courtroom while the officers of the court, including the judges, are all engaged in what is a fictitious prosecution, while I was placed in what is also a mental ward, totally out of bounds with what was the false charge alleged upon kidnapping my person by Jason Knighton and L. Keys, which was obstruction of arrest. Okay, I just want to be clear on that. And so, pursuant to this probation, which I was placed on, contrary to the lies that they are stating in that court, in the midst of a fictitious prosecution in this courtroom, stating that Kimberly Appaloo did not state that I'm not on probation. This is the advice that Vanessa Rodriguez is telling me on the side, and it definitely was a precondition to my stating to Kimberly Appaloo these terms of this probation agreement, which they stated, oh, it's just a pretrial agreement. You're not going to be placed on probation. This is the words out of the criminal Vanessa Rodriguez's mouth. She's documented. Her bar number is I've already published this documentation. But I would just want to give details as to the extent to which they are engaged in egregious criminal conduct. And the probation officers engaged in the P.O.C. monitoring me at the Rancho Cucamonga courthouse, requiring me in conflict with the very terms of this farcical probation agreement, forcing me basically with the threat. You have a threat over your head at all times, by the way, while the state is monitoring you. And this entire criminal act is a criminal obstruction of justice. And this probation, this act of placing me on probation and a fictitious act, understand this is a communication of a threat. If you don't go to court and participate in this criminal act by the court, perpetuated by the court, the officers of the court, the police, you're under this threat of going to jail. All right. And so threatening to kidnap you again and place you back into this facility if you don't abide by what are probation terms in what is a fictitious prosecution upon being kidnapped by the police who are monitoring you, who are engaged in the P.O.C. as they place their hands on your person and physically abuse you as they place handcuffs on you and kidnap you. All right. This is the criminal act that they're engaged in. And of the probation department, those who I documented, Monica Rodriguez, probation officer 3. This is what her business card says. And I have Ariel Rodriguez, probation officer 2. with the probation department. Rancho Superior Court is what her card says. And I have David Fuentes, the probation department, and I met with him specifically on January 29th, 2020, the day after Kimberly Appaloo placed me on probation in this fictitious prosecution. And David Fuentes, generous enough to provide me a copy of what is the minute order, which is a part of a fictitious prosecution. Understand, this is the probation, first of all, represents law enforcement. He is monitoring. They are monitoring at this venue. I'm subject to monitoring, and they are also engaged in a fictitious prosecution. Placing me on probation is a threat over my head to be subject to kidnapping again if I do not participate in their criminal act of going to court and participating, being subject to that, which is no legal act whatsoever. It is all for the purpose of ultimately taking my liberty indefinitely off the record while they're engaged in a criminal act via the state facilitating venue of the courthouse, specifically the Rancho Cucamonga Court, which again is located at 8303 Haven Avenue in Rancho Cucamonga, California, 91730, just to be clear. That's the specific venue. Understand that this is nothing but a template showing what the state is engaged in. This is a system in operation that I have documented every aspect as I have been subject to it, okay? And those are the specific actors with the probation department, which represent law enforcement, monitoring me and also engaging in that communication of a threat to what put me back into a state of being abducted, kidnapped in a facilitating venue where I'm monitored inside of that jail, and also based on the fact. So you're talking about the necessity well, it's not even participation, the necessity of going through the process, because that's what it is. It is a form of providence as well, showing the extent to which the state is engaged in monitoring and criminal obstruction of justice, which is the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. All right. That is built into the pattern of conduct. The state is not only monitoring, the state is engaged in seeking to conceal the fact that it is monitoring. All right. This is the government's pattern of conduct. And this is David Fuentes providing a copy of a minute order in a fictitious prosecution, reiterating to me on January 29th that I am on probation, while he is providing me a copy of that, just so that I am clear. And this is again in conflict with Vanessa Rodriguez told me before I verbally agreed in this courtroom before Kimberly Appaloo, which is nothing but monitoring conduct. I'm being monitored, and I'm also being subject to the criminal conduct of the court, all right, which is operated by the officers of the court. So I just want to be clear on that. And that is P.O.C.